African American families who comprises of a marriage with a husband and a wife for over 12 years and many more to come. Without all further ado, I would like to introduce my lovely wife, Starla Ross.
So sweet. Yeah, I didn't know where he was going to say. But he's always prepared. So I appreciate that and just appreciate him for leading our family and being who he is every day for us. So thank you. So he said a lot. Many of you guys know me as the little girl running through this church with my brothers, with my cousins, all of us. This is my family. You all are my family. This is my family church. So I'm so glad to be home, to be with you all. I will not be before you long, but before I get started, I really want to talk about the book. Don't forget my name. Don't forget my name is the title of the book. And a lot of people have been asking, well, how did you come up with this book? What was the idea? What is the history behind the book? Some of you guys know, and there are some parts that I'm going to share that you may not know. Both of my grandmothers were diagnosed with dementia. My father's mother and my mother's mother were both diagnosed with dementia. So my paternal grandmother actually passed away. She had dementia. She's from Richwood, Monroe, Louisiana. And just in March of 2022, on last year, we tragically lost my maternal grandmother. You know her as Bessie Collins. Maybe I need to shoot. You know her as Bessie Collins. We tragically lost my grandmother in March of 2022, which ironically, this will make a year in just a couple of more days. Yeah. Hit me. Yeah. So dementia is just a really tough disease for many families. And tragically losing my maternal grandmother, but also knowing and understanding that my father's mother was also diagnosed with dementia. There are so many elements in the African American community that we don't talk about dementia. We don't talk about Alzheimer's. We don't talk about our mental health. So we talk a little bit about our physical health, and we go to the doctor to say, okay, we have a cold, and especially since COVID hit, we're definitely going. But when we're talking about our health, we also need to understand our mental health is just as important as our physical health. And Alzheimer's and dementia is actually a mental health. Okay, it's a disease. And so what I'm finding in my partnerships with the Alzheimer's Association and also the Bridge, which is an organization in Shreveport, where in our African American community, it is a silent epidemic happening. We are not talking about it, we are not discussing it. And there is also some fear about getting help around dementia. And I'll talk a little bit about this, but when my husband was talking about we're a duo, his background is mental health. So he has a lot of information, and he's very in tune with what is happening in our communities. But when we talk about a silent epidemic, we have COVID, we have violence in our communities that's happening, but then we also have mental health that's impacting our communities, and we must come together and talk about it. I have some research here, and I'll be able to share it with you later, but I'll share it with you now before I get into the reading, is that among Black Americans ages 70 and older, 21% are living with Alzheimer's. While older Black Americans are twice as likely, and I want to make sure we understand that, older Black Americans are twice as likely as older whites to have Alzheimer's and another dementia. Research hasn't yet identified the cause. There isn't a cause. However, Black Americans are twice as likely to be diagnosed with Alzheimer's or dementia. And when we think about it, we don't talk about it. We're not discussing it. Over 20%, only 20% of Black Americans say that they have no barriers to excellent health care and support for Alzheimer's or dementia. There is a fear in our community about going to get checked. And the fear is we don't want to be guinea pigs, right? We don't want to be guinea pigs. However, research is showing that all of the research that's happening around Alzheimer's and dementia, there's a higher number of whites participating and a lower number of Blacks. However, the data is showing that we are twice as likely to get it. So in order for us to get, to get support around it and also get an understanding of why it impacts us the most, which there is some research. And while I go prepare for my reading, I'm gonna let my husband talk to you guys about some of how it's impacting us. But we're twice as likely to get it, and it does come with our health. And I'm gonna let him talk about some of those pieces. But how we take care of ourselves, our brain and our hearts, those pieces are definitely connected. And he's going to talk to you about a little bit.
I'm looking for my purse, and it's been a cost.
Just becoming an advocate around Alzheimer's and dementia is truly stemmed in not only knowing what happened to my grandmother, to my grandmother, but also it comes from a conversation I had with my 7-year-old. So one day we were preparing for baseball practice, for batting practice, and we were sitting in the truck waiting on his dad to get there. And my grandmother's obituary was in my car. And he pulled it out and he just kept looking at it and saying, "What happened? I don't understand how she could just, walk away and leave her house. Like, what was that? Why is that?" And in that moment, I started to try to explain some of the symptoms of dementia. I started to talk about what is dementia, what is Alzheimer's. But the best way I knew how to help children in our communities understand dementia is that I'm an educator at heart. And so that's how the book came about. It's how can I take my gift, and Pastor talked about this earlier, is how can you take your gift or your calling and use it for a greater purpose. And so that's how this book has evolved. It has evolved into taking my passion for literacy and learning, for children reading, for parents being able to read to their children, elders being able to read as well. And that passion has turned into an advocacy of making sure our African American community understands how dementia and Alzheimer's impacts us. It impacts us all. And there is a huge percentage of family members that I've come in contact with that they're not just buying this book for their children or grandchildren. They're buying it for themselves. Those that are caretakers, those that know someone who may be caretakers, they are just buying the book because it just reminds them of what is happening, who they see every day, and how they want to make sure that they're using this book to support their families. So that is where this book has come from, and that's how I'm using my gift on today and every day moving forward, is how can I get into our communities, into our churches, into our schools to talk about the importance of not only mental health, not only literacy, but also understanding how we can build our own community of resources and work together. That's it. So as I go out to prepare for in-character reading, when I say I become the character, I become somebody in the book. I'll allow my husband to come up and talk to you guys a little bit about just mental health and some of the things that's connected to Alzheimer's and dementia, all right? So we're gonna get ready. Tag, thank y'all so much.
All right. So, now, as I serve as a social worker, a licensed clinical social worker, I've have done research and worked with many individuals and have worked in healthcare facilities where I have a modest background on working with and knowing about mental health and as it relates to dementia and Alzheimer's. So when we hear the word dementia and Alzheimer's, we hear the words, but I don't know if everyone really know the difference between the two. But there is a distinct difference between the two. If you know, I don't want to insult you, but for the ones that possibly are questionable, do you mind if I share with you some differences? Right. So, dementia, that is like a temporary state of decline of our cognitive abilities. And our, cognitive abilities is essentially our day-to-day functions, our memory, our speech, our cognition, our ADLs, those are activities of daily living, eating, bathing, dressing, housekeeping, etc. But as we get older, we decline in our cognitive functioning naturally. However, the decline has been exacerbated in our community, and Starla mentioned that they really don't have any evidence or research on the reasons why. But from my expert opinion and clinical expertise, I would say that we as African Americans, why I think we have a larger percentage of being diagnosed is because of the stressors that we face day to day. Stressors such as the trauma in our community, the abuse, having to work multiple jobs, single parenting, oppression, Black History Month. We deal with a lot of stressors unconsciously, but as we get older, it comes into our conscious and affects our daily lives. So it's a disparity income. To keep up with our counterparts, we have to work harder, longer. We have to put in overtime to go the extra mile just to prove that ourselves are worthy. And as a result of that, our mind has been running and racing along with our heart. And this is not only that we're talking about dementia, but I believe this is the Heart Health Month. But our hearts, we have a high prevalence of heart disease as well. It correlates. Your mind and your body correlates with each other. And we have those other comorbidities as well. Hypertension, high cholesterol, diabetes. All these things contribute and play amongst each other due to the stressors, lack of nutritious meals. So that's one of the reasons why I believe that we have a high prevalence of dementia. However, Let's talk about Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is when the person has been deemed just not having any type of abilities to care for themselves. Period. In Alzheimer's, is when you are diagnosed with how Alzheimer's is just you have full blown, just no recognition of what's going on. You may have, you may remember some things such as don't forget my name. You won't forget certain people or certain organizations, but Alzheimer's is the end point. Dementia is the beginning. So I believe it's about time for our character to come out. So thank you. And after the service, if you have any questions, I can answer any question you can to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Amen.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How y'all doing? I'm okay. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all doing okay? Good. I was invited here to do a presentation, and before I get started, I wanted to let you know something. Last week, I went to the doctor, and the doctor said I have this disease, and the disease is called dementia. Have y'all heard of that? And I really couldn't understand all the terms and everything that they were talking about, but the only thing I could remember is that they said, my memory, the reason why I was my checkbooks, I was paying a lot of bills over and over again. I was doing a whole bunch of things, and they did this memory test and brain test on me, but they told me that I'm losing my memory. And so there are some things that I may not remember, and and it's the early onset of it, but there's some things I may not remember, and there's some things that I may do, and nobody would really understand why I'm doing it, and I wouldn't understand why I'm doing it. But I wanted to share this with you because I have a book that I'm going to read to you on today. Do you mind if that's okay? Okay, let me grab a chair here. And so this book that I'm going to read, the title of it is called Don't Forget My Name. Don't forget my name. And the author's name, the author of this book is Starla Ross. Starla, I said Arthur. Hey, babe, you come here, baby. You come here. How you doing? Good. What's your name? Come here, James. You're so handsome. You're so handsome. What's your name again? James. I said, right here in this book, I said the author's name is Starla Ross. What does that mean? What does the author do in the book? Oh, well, yeah, it's close. So I said the author's name is Starla Ross, but the illustrator is Joanne Black. So when I say illustrator, what do you think the illustrator did? Okay, so good. So the author, Starla Ross, she wrote the words. And the Shalom, come on, I'm smart. Y'all wrote this book, boy. And then the illustrator is Joanne Black. She drew the pictures. Oh, you see that little girl on the front? Oh, no, it's backwards. It's the other way around. That's why I said, that's why I do the literacy segment with this book, so you can understand, okay? Thank you. So, James, what's your name? James, okay, baby. See, I'm gonna ask you your name a couple of times, because I told you. It's okay, thank you. You're so patient with me. Thank you. James, before I read this book, I left my glasses somewhere on one of, like, over there. Can you see if you can find my glasses for me, baby? Are those mine? Yes, thank you, because you know it's gonna be hard for me to see the words, and now that you put your fingers on the lens, it might be even harder. But that's okay. Thank you. So, what's your name again? James. Okay. Thank you for helping me. You're so patient and so kind. Thank you so much. Let me see. Ooh, I can really see you now. You're looking good. You look good. Thank you, baby. Now you can go back and sit down. Thank you. You're so sweet. You're so patient with me. All right. The title of the book is Don't Forget My Name, and the author is Miss Starla Ross, and the illustrator is Miss Joanne Glenn. And this book is dedicated to two amazing grandmothers. The first grandmother is Miss Bessie Collins, and the second grandmother is Miss Hazel Johnson. Because even though they struggle with the disease dementia, they never, ever forgot my name. And so this book is dedicated to them. I may forget where I put my keys. I may forget to lock the door. I may forget what time it is, but rest assured, I will not forget your name. I may walk a little slow because I can't remember where to go. I may need you to hold my hand because I'm going down the wrong road. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Rest assured, I will not forget your name. Where they going? James, where they going? To church, yeah. I may forget what day it is or what time I'm supposed to go to bed. I may put my clothes on backwards and put my socks on my head. I know it looks funny, and we just laugh and laugh. I always have a good time with you. And rest assured, I will not forget your name. I may forget to eat or even brush my teeth. I may stay up all night and forget to go to sleep. I know it may be hard for you to understand. Don't fret, I'll figure it out. Remembering is just hard right now. But rest assured, I will not forget your name. I may repeat the same thing over and over and over and over again. I may get upset because I can't remember what you said. Please be patient with me. I promise I am trying. Remembering is hard right now, but rest assured, I will not forget your name. I may ask you about people and places from long ago. I may need you to read a book because there are words I do not know. Don't you worry. It's just getting harder and harder for me to remember things. But rest assured, I will not forget your name. I may wander off and get lost while searching for home. I may try to visit places I best remember or people that I used to know. I know you will look for me. It's okay. I will be fine. No matter what I do, rest assured, I will not forget your name. But do you know why? Do you know why? It's your smile, it's your hugs, it's the love you show me every day. It's your voice on the phone, or a picture, or the kind words you say. It's a memory, a gift, or a special thing we share. It's you that I will always love. It's you that I will always treasure. And even when you can no longer hear my voice, rest assured, I'll never forget your name. The end. And so in this book, there is a section about dementia, but it is in a kid-friendly language. I want our children to know that dementia is not like a tummy ache or a headache. It doesn't just go away. It stays with us. It lingers. And it gets worse as it gets progressively, it can get progressively worse. But in this book, it talks about some behaviors that they may see, like asking or saying the same thing over and over again. You just hold it on like, yep, grandma, you're right. Yep, you just keep repeating. Or, hiding things from themselves. Or possibly accusing you of taking things and you didn't take it. Things of that nature can happen, and then they get frustrated with you because of something they did, or even messing up something, and you'll ask them why did they do it, and they'll say they didn't do that. Just all of those little things to pay attention to, as to reasons why we get ourselves checked or take our elders in to just have that memory test. Those are some things. But some things that we can do is just be patient, be kind, be helpful, make them smile and laugh. Most of our family members who are suffering from dementia are Alzheimer's. They love music, they love to dance, they love to interact, and even when they get into those moments where they're frustrated, just trying to redirect them as calmly as you can is what you want to do. And so showing them love is the most important thing that you can do, because I want you to remember, they don't know what's happening. They're just as frustrated as you are. They really don't know. And so just in that moment, they may know a little later. And also in the book, it's a let's talk and a let's write section. Like I said, the teacher is in me at all times. So if there's questions that you want to ask, or even things that you want to write about, that section is also in this book. I want to thank you so very much for allowing me to use my gift in this space. And if you need me for anything, please know that I am available. Thank you again.
Okay, told us everything about the book. How to get the book.
Yes, sir. So the book is available for purchase. It's $16 today. It is available on Amazon, but it's $16.99 on Amazon. But today you can get it for $16. I do accept cash app, credit, and it's also available on my website. If you want an autographed copy, you'll go to my website, www.starlaross.com. But if you purchase one today, you will also get an autographed copy today.